Ladies and gentlemen, we are now back with another entry in our Community Cast series. In this match, we're going to have a showdown between the Tomb Kings, who shall be led by King of the Dead, and the Warriors of Chaos, who shall be helmed by General Eisenbart. So on that note, guys, let's jump right into this match and have some fun. So for the build of the Tomb Kings, it looks like in the front line, they're going to have a couple groups of the standard Tomb Guard. And the Tomb Guard, of course, are going to be able to beat low-tier Chaos Infantry. And by low-tier, I mean just Chaos Marauders. They really do struggle against heavy armor because they do have good stats, right? 37, 46, 42 is a really good stat line, but they have very low AP values. So I think the reason that King of the Dead is going to be going with Tomb Guard as opposed to Skeleton Warriors and just kind of chaff to occupy the Chaos Warriors, he probably wants them to hold a little bit longer, so he can get more value from his chariots. Because if the Chaos Infantry are held in place by the Tomb Guard, even if they are winning, the chariots are going to have a little bit more time to slam into their backs and get some value, as opposed to Skeleton Warriors, which of course would crumble quite a bit quicker. So going to be going with the chariots here. It looks like he does have two groups of full chariots, so it's just going to be the standard Skeleton chariots, two Tomb Princes as well. So the Tomb Princes are a pretty common pick against Chaos because they're fast, they have a bonus versus large, they have armor piercing, and pretty much are a natural choice against Shaggoths. And if Chaos is going to be trying to snipe your lore, they also do have the Guardian ability, so it's going to make Arc in the Black a little bit tougher to kill just through brute force. So two chariots, two Tomb Princes, Arc in the Black here with Spirit Leech and Buna, both very good choices. Spirit Leech is great against Chaos Lords, they don't have any means of healing, and Buna is very good against Chosen and Elite Infantry, so very, very solid pick here. Of course, with the Tomb Blade of Arcan, I believe is what it's called, and the Liber Mortis. So things are about to get pretty wild. Got a couple spears on the flanks, look like two skeleton spears, and King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, always a good choice. Even though their output is very low in terms of damage, they have poison, they have anti-large. These guys are just very sticky, very annoying, and hard to get rid of. A couple skeleton warriors on the flanks, two groups of Nehekara horsemen. Now, I actually like this pick quite a bit because a lot of Chaos players do often use Marauder Horsemen or Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes to take down constructs. So having the Nehekara Warriors with their shields and decent combat stats to kind of chase them down is going to be pretty good. Granted, they will be kited into the Shadow Realm. 90 speed here against 78, but nonetheless going to be a bit of a distraction at the very least. So that's pretty much it for the Chaos, or for the Tomb King army. He does have Necropolis Knights over here, which is a very unorthodox pick as well, but they have Armored Piercing. They have, these are actually just going to be the anti-infantry variants, so they're going to be better against like Chosen with Great Weapons and the Mirror Guard and troops like that, but still okay against large targets. I mean, but not quite as good, of course, without their bonus versus large. But he has plenty of anti-large, I think, with the double Tomb King, or double Tomb Prince. These are the princes. The fresh prince of Nehekara here. He's got two of those guys. And, of course, he has some Skeleton Spears and Spirit Leech, which would be very good against, like, Shaggoths. So that's pretty much it. And for the Warriors of Chaos, two groups of the Marauder Horsemen on the flanks, going to be kiting and poking. Pretty good against, like, annoying, lightly armored units. And if you get behind, like, lightly armored shielded units and their shields are facing the other direction while they're in melee, you can actually get some pretty good damage out of these guys. Halberds on the flanks, of course, to help with Tomb Scorpions, Ushapti, Cameron War Sphinxes, Necro Sphinxes, all things that you do see fairly commonly in this matchup. In the front line, Chaos Warriors with Great Weapons. So this is something that is a little bit, I wouldn't expect this, right? He's bringing Great Weapons across the board. So two Great Weapons here, two Chosen with Great Weapons in the back, Mirror Guard in the middle. So he has a ton of like anti-infantry. Well, I guess these technically are good against all armored threats. So, I mean, Chosen with Great Weapons, even though they don't have like a bonus versus large, their stats are just so good with 48 and 50 for their melee attack and weapon strength that I feel like they could still put some pretty good hurt on a construct if it stood still amongst them. But this is just a heavy metal infantry corps. So I'm really eager to see how this does here. Anyways, fighting's underway up in the Lord. He does have a Chaos Sorcerer Lord with fire, so Fireball, Cascading Fire Cloak, and Flaming Sword of Ruin. It looks like he's going to be sending the Warhounds over here to maybe help out with the Nehekara Horsemen. But in the front line, King of the Dead is going to be charging in with the Chariots of Nehekara. These bad boys are going to be going in, just going to pound town on those Mirror Guard there. And it looks like Arc in the Black and the Tomb Prince are able to Matrix that and dodge the Fireball, which is going to be quite good. And the Mirror Guard haven't taken any casualties, but a lot of HP damage and a beautiful initial engagement here for King. And over here, the Chaos Warriors are now into the front line. They have a good matchup versus the Tomb Guard, of course. Tomb Guard do have 90 models, which is nice. And they will lose this engagement if the Tomb Princes do stay and fight, especially with Arc in the Black. So the leadership for the Tomb Kings is going to be piling in right here. And the frontline fighting is pretty much underway on every front. Chariots in the back still trundling about, but having some problems because the Chaos player just have a Feral Man score plus a Chaos Sorcerer Lord on fire on a man score. So those man scores have high mass, they hit hard, and they're able to beat down these relatively lightly armored chariots. In the meantime, Arc in the Black is going to be dropping Summon here in the back using his staff, or his Lich Staff, or whatever the hell that thing is called. Not Lich Staff, that's what Kothep has, but the Tomb Blade of Arcan, to actually muck up the Chosen. So using that to kind of hold back the advance of the Chosen is very, very good, kind of occupying those guys. And over on the flank, Necropolis Knights looking for a little bit of a home, but it looks like they did disengage from the middle after doing a ton of damage to those Chaos Warriors. And from here, they're probably going to pull in and engage these guys. I'm not really sure where they're going, but maybe just going on a bit of a vacation on the corner of the map. In the center, it looks like the pocket has broken, so the Chaos Warriors with Grey Opens were just swamped by being rear charged by Chariots, Arcan, and the double Tomb Prince. And right here, a really good engagement for the Tomb Kings, as the double Tomb Prince are going to be going after this this big old angry Manscore right here. So the Manscore, of course, a large target. He's going to be rampaging now, and it looks like Fate of Buna has gone down in the Chosen as well, which is going to be great. Doing a ton of damage to those guys and really kind of helping them to be a little bit more manageable in the late game. Now, over here in the distance, we do have some chasing. Nehekara Warriors have been chasing the Marauder Horsemen, same thing on the other side, but the Horsemen are actually kiting pretty effectively and taking some serious damage onto these Nehekar Horsemen. Granted, I think the Hounds did end up fighting here, and that's why these guys are so beat up. Now back to the main fight. Chaos, of course, are winning against most of the infantry fights over here on the flanks. So these Skeleton Spearmen are being taken out by the Halberds as well as the Aspiring Champions. Chaos Warriors here actually taking a little bit of a beating, but I think they actually just finished fighting someone else, and now they're piling into these Tomb Guards, so I don't think that's like an accurate reflection. But Chaos has lost its match core. Balance of power, however, is pretty even. Chaos still has a ton of powerful infantry left. And the Tomb Prince, as well as Ark of the Black and, all of the elite Tomb King's leadership is sitting in this pit fight right here. And they're fighting Chosen and the Mirror Guard. I mean, this is not where they want to be. The Chosen and the Grey Opens have tons of AP. They're going to be able to just grind through these guys. And you can probably see that they're starting to add up in terms of damage. Arkin's taking a little bit. This Tomb Prince is actually getting into the danger zone. The other one is starting to get chipped away as well. The Chaos Sorcerer Lord does land with the Flaming Sword of Ruin, which is going to make these Chosen and Mirror Guard that much scarier. And you can see the Tomb King's Chaffage is buckling right here. The Tomb Guard and some of these Skeleton Warriors and other troops here, I guess they're all Tomb Guard, are actually going down pretty quick. But a very good play from King. He does drop some Skeleton Warriors in the back to try and hurt the leadership, and gets a really big timing charge. So these Nehekara, Sneaky Snake people, what the hell are they called again? The Necropolis. These guys are going to be charging in here in a timing with a Spirit Leech or a Fate of Buna. So that's going to do a ton of damage to the Chaos Infantry, and I can actually see there being a mass buckle here. So yes, it's going to be Fate of Buna again on these Chosen. So it's hit this group of Chosen and now this group. So King is going to be using his Fate of Buna explicitly on the Chosen, which is very, very efficient play there. But the bounce bar is still pretty even. The Sneaky Snake Knights could potentially collapse on the Chaos Sorcerer, which I think they're probably going to do. But, the Skeleton Warriors and the Tomb Guard and all these other troops here are doing pretty good. But look at this. A charge coming in from Ark of the Black. The other Tomb Prince was able to escape, and he looks like just a swing and a miss. He just goes right past that Match Core as Match Core does pile away. But over here, there's a ton of Chaos left. We have Aspiring Champions and a ton of Halberds. The Halberds are going to be really, really tough to deal with. Chariots are pretty efficient against Halberds because, the Halberds have to be braced, and if they're moving around, you can cycle charge them. But the Chariots are very beat up at this point, and Chaos does have a couple really strong pockets of infantry. Over here, we have Aspiring Champs and Halberds, who inevitably will win this fight against King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, just because their damage output is so low. But in the center, it looks like the Tomb Kings are kind of rallying this fight back. So the Chosen have 43 models here. The Mirror Guard are holding firm, of course, being immune to psychology and just being very beastly. And you can also see the Ushapti Summon was used by the Tomb Kings. But now that that's gone, it's really going to change the dynamic of this battle here. But the big old Manscore does charge in there, able to kind of polish those guys off. He's in good shape, and you can see King is trying to chase him down, but very, very good micro here from the General, just kind of pulling this guy back, getting in there, and he probably has some fireballs left, I would imagine. But that Flaming Sword of Ruin has just given massive power spikes here to the Chosen, these other troops, and they've just been able to grind out that center pocket of the Tomb Kings pretty hard. But very good Chariot play coming in here, running over these Chaos Warriors. They're down to 41 models, 40, probably going to go down to 39 here in a moment, and getting some pretty good value, but there's just so much Chaos Infantry left. It's going to be very, very tough. However, King of the Dead still does have his Necropolis Knights. He has his heroic, units relatively intact. The Tomb Prince is in good shape. Ark in the Black here is in good shape. And where's the third one? It might have actually died there. There was two Tomb Princes earlier. Looks like there's not going to be one fighting here. No, those are the Sneaky Snakes. So he did indeed lose one Tomb Prince, it looks like, but he's able to get some decent damage on the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. And Chariots are in good shape, and he does also, of course, have the Sneaky Snake Knights, which are doing a bit of a hurt here on these Chosen and other troops. And if he could actually break one group of these Chosen, I think he might be able to kind of landslide and just kind of run those guys over. But the Sneaky Snakes going to be pulling in and out, making sure they're not taking saturated, heavy armor-piercing damage from these Chosen. So it's definitely a good idea to kind of pull those guys out and get them back in there. That's what she said. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Ark in the Black going to be popping Soph and Nagash to try and get his effects up. He might have enough for one more Spirit Leech or maybe a Fate of Buna, but I think 2 Fate of Bunas does eat up most of your Winds of Magic. On top of that, he does probably have one more Tomb Blade charge, which can be pretty helpful in a long, grindy game like this. And over here, the Chaos Sorcerer Lord does jump off. He's able to pick off one of these Chariots right here, and the Chariot's looking a little bit beat up. The Tomb Prince coming in again, and the Tomb Prince gets a massive lethal blow right there on the Chaos Sorcerer. I guess not lethal, but very damaging. It's going to put him down about 400 HP and going to send him running. So, King definitely grabbing that trade right there. He did lose a couple Chariots, but was able to retaliate, get some good HP damage. Now back here in the center, the Sneaky Snakes and Necropolis Knights are going to be charging in here, just surfing through these Chaos Warriors in the desert. I mean, they're designed to surf in the desert, right? So these guys are going to be just all over them. And the Chaos Warriors here probably going to be breaking soon. Man, Chosen just so durable. These guys are just holding firm. Ark in the Black going to be jumping back in there. Chariots cleaving the edge of the formation. And it looks like this is another variable that I haven't really been talking about in quite some time, is that the Nehekar Horsemen completely outdone here by the Marauder Horsemen. I'm really surprised that the output, like they were actually able to kill them just by kiting them. That's really, really efficient. There's also some Chaos Warhounds over here on the back, so that is going to make a difference because those troops do have good mass and are going to be able to potentially hold up some of these Chariots and other troops here. Now the Chaos Sorcerer Lord with fire up in the skies, probably going to have to be very conservative. If he wants to, I would probably land and attack the back of King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, because over here you have pretty much a free trade, right? Granted, Arkan and the Tomb Prince are relatively close by. Chariots and the Sneaky Snakes are going to be cycle charging these Chaos Infantry. They really need to break this pocket. He's Chosen, and other troops are really just kind of the backbone of the Chaos Army right now. And the bounce power, It's pretty much, as it was when the battle started, but if anything, maybe a little bit in the favor of Chaos, but the sneaky snakes are going to be really, really tough to deal with. But you can see the Manticore Lord does jump in here. It looks like he might have gotten a chariot right there. He's going to be continuing to chase these guys, trying to break them down. You can see that Ark in the Black and the Tomb Prince just hot in pursuit, and oh, this is dangerous. This is controversial stuff right here, and the Chaos Sorcerer Lord with Fire going to be getting surrounded, taking a ton of poison damage from these guys, and might get caught here, but it looks like he's going to be able to get away. Manticores are pretty fast with 70 speed. Sneaky Snakes only have 66, so despite the poison, it should be able to create enough separation, but a very dangerous situation. Now, over here, Chaos does have Aspiring Champions, some Halberds. They were able to fully win that fight. He's got a lot of infantry kind of rallying here, so he probably is going to be able to form a bit of a nasty pocket, which is going to be very tough to finish off. Oh, and 56 Halberds here, as well as he's Aspiring Champion, so the Chaos player has won so many engagements aside from that center one. And the Chariots are looking a little bit beat up, but Ark in the Black with a very good summon. So he's going to summon these guys. He's going to rear charge them with the Chariots. The summon is going to be taking the brunt of the fighting, right? While the Chariots getting in there. And Ark in the Black does get tagged with that Fireball. Looks like it kind of chipped away at his heels there. And the Marauder Horsemen actually have a little bit of ammo left. So just an insane fight. Very well played to both of these players. So the Chaos Sorcerer jumps in there. A very bold strategy caught, and I'm not sure if that was worth it. So he jumps in there, and he's going to get fully surrounded. So this is what could actually get the Tomb Kings back in the game. And it looks like the Chaos Sorcerer, there's no way he's going to get away from this. I mean, there's a lot of high mass. There's Chariots in front of him. There's Sneaky Snakes, and Ark in the Black, and the Tomb Prince are here. He's probably going to be, at the very least, broken, right? So down he goes. So the Chaos Sorcerer Lord has fallen, and the Tomb Kings have secured the fight in regards to their leadership. Ark in the Black, the Tomb Prince, and the Chariots are in pretty good shape, but Chaos still has a ton of Halberds here, a lot of Horsemen coming in, and the summons are actually going to be disappearing here relatively quickly. And aside from those summons, there's nothing left for the Tomb Kings for infantry. So they're going to have to be cycle charging into Halberds, and Marauder Horsemen are actually going to be huge here because they actually have enough mass to kind of stop the cycle charges and hold them in place, and maybe let the Halberds get a little bit more saturated damage. So Ark in the Black is going to be going in as well. Tomb Prince is going to be jumping in. All these Chaos Infantry probably are going to break. The Hounds are finally coming back to the battle here, but the Aspiring Champions and Halberds are coming in. Aspiring Champions do, of course, have that leadership aura, so they kind of replace the fact that the Lord is missing because they're able to give that extra 5 leadership or so to the troops that are in battle here. Bounce Power is, like dead even now. It's coming back towards the middle. The Tomb Kings are clawing their way back in. Ark in the Black a little bit surrounded, though. Some of the Sneaky Snakes are going to come in and help him out, but the Halberds and just Aspiring Champions are just grinding it out. You can see the Chariots are faltering. These ones have one model left. It's crumbling. The other ones are inevitably going to crumble to those Halberds over there. And I don't know if the Tomb Prince and Arkin are going to be able to win this fight against as many Halberds and Horsemen and just troops like that. And the Necropolis Knights have 13 models and 74 kills. They've certainly done very good, and it looks like there is going to be a Spirit Leech effect going down on the Aspiring Champions, which isn't bad. I probably would have opted to target the Halberds, just getting rid of like a bigger, meatier group of troops, but getting rid of the leadership of the Aspiring Champions certainly isn't a bad idea either. So with this, the Chaos player is going to be clawing his way back into the game. The Halberds and the Chaos Hounds are just going to be punching, so General Eisenbart just getting in here, going for the Alpha Strike, and it looks like he might be able to clean up shop. Ark in the Black and the Tomb Prince are in a little bit of trouble. Halberds just fighting to the bitter end. Bounce of Power just teetering back and forth, but that is going to be all she wrote, and the Chaos Halberds and Aspiring Champions are going to win the game. So, very well played to both players. That was an insane game. King of the Dead put on a great showcase with a very unique build using Chariots and Sneaky Snakes, and he was really building against Shaggoths. He was expecting, Kolek and Dragon Ogres and things like that. He had the Spears. He had the, the double Tomb Prince with Arkin. So that build was very heavily built around dealing with, elite Dragon Ogre style stuff. So Shaggoths, Kolek, all that kind of good stuff, which is very common because a lot of Tomb Kings players do just spam heavy constructs going with like Necrosphinxes and that kind of stuff. So I think that was a pretty good choice there. However, a very unorthodox build from the Chaos player as well. So General Eisenbart coming in with like Chosen with great weapons. Like who the hell expects those in this matchup? And they're kind of like Black Orcs in a way, because Black Orcs are actually the ideal pick against Tomb Kings as the Greenskins. Because, well, yeah, of course the Greenskins, because they're the only ones who can pick Black Orcs. But Black Orcs, because they beat constructs, they can beat down Ushopti, they can put the hurt on Tomb Scorpions and things like that, and they also beat the infantry. So there's kind of that same principle here, but you don't see it executed terribly often. So the Chosen did a really good job, 120, 134. The Halberds, of course, were just a terror in the late game, and it was just like really durable and really tough to crack line. But General Eisenbart also had very good micro with his Chaos Sorcerer Lord up until the very end there where he got caught. It was like really solid. He was just like chasing down the the Chariots, just being really obnoxious with that, and it was great. And I'm really surprised the Marauder Horsemen were able to kite and defeat the Nehekar Horsemen. I mean, had the Nehekar Horsemen maybe caught them and killed them, that could have maybe changed the end of the battle there. I think these guys in their mass were able to pin down the Chariots and allow the Halberds to fight them. So it was just a crazy game. Also, big props for King of the Dead for sending in a loss. You don't see that terribly often. Granted, people are starting to do it more and more. So very well played to him, as well as General Eisenbart. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Tomb King vs. Chaos game, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.